waiting for someone else. So, hi everybody, I'm Georgette Van Vliet. How are you today? So you all know I'm a mindset coach and I've written some books, and I've based a lot of this on my book, Financial Success, Having It All, because I do think we can all have it all. But I definitely think there are some things that we need to do that we don't always think about. There's simple things to do, and I'm going to share them with you today. So before I start, I really want to say that, can you hear me? I'm a big believer in the law of attraction. I believe in having lofty goals. I think we should all have big goals that we aspire to because they keep us alive. All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So we need to figure out, like, we have a big dream. How do we get there from where we are? And one of the things, so I have like 5 pages of notes, so I'll be looking down a little bit while we talk. So one of the things that I want to talk about is debt. You know, if you have debt or if you don't have a savings account, it's very hard to believe in your lofty goals. It's hard to believe you're going to have some big dream when you're struggling every month, or when you don't have anything and you're like, well, it's not realistic. So there's got to be a way to have our lofty goal become realistic for us. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So if you're in debt, debt is a very negative vibration, and it holds you back from believing you can have your dream financial life. And I think anyone who's in debt knows this. If you're in debt, you're stressing, you don't know how you're going to pay your bills at the end of the month. You're stuck in a circle of, like worry, right? So when you're in that feeling, when you're in that energy, you can't think of solutions. You're not being creative. You don't really have, your mind is just triggered by stress, which doesn't really allow you to find solutions or to be creative with what you want to do. So it's hard to visualize, like you may want to have, and we're going to visualize in a little while. We're going to do a little meditation. You may have, like, I'm going to pretend I want to dream about having a mansion on the beach, which is like a $3 million dream in New Jersey where I live. Let's say that's my fantasy. But if I'm in debt, it's hard to believe I'm going to ever own that house. So for me, if you're in debt, if debtors are calling you, you could be in the middle of your fantasy, and if a debt collector is calling you, that kind of snaps you out of it, right? Or if you're stressing, or if you only have a few dollars in your account at the end of every month, that dream doesn't seem realistic to you. And you can fantasize all you want, but it's not going to come true because you really don't believe it. So a lot of this is about, once you clear up your debt, you can believe, you can really step into believing. And I know because I've done this, by the way. So not only do I help people, a lot of people, get out of debt, I've done it myself. So this is part 1 of the workshop, and we're going to focus on getting rid of your debt. And one of the greatest affirmations I can give you, and it's one of my goals that I write down all the time when I write down my goals, is all my credit cards have a 0 balance. I love that. All my credit cards have a 0 balance. The law of attraction, if you use the word debt in an affirmation or in a goal, all it hears is debt and keeps you in debt. But by saying I have a 0 balance, it makes it more neutral. And we can kind of picture that, right? Like, can you picture now, if you close your eyes for a minute, can you picture all your credit cards being at 0, right? Big 0. Nice. You're smiling. Yeah, that's a nice feeling. You can picture that. So that's what I want you to think about. That's what I want you to write down. Now, I wrote that down as a goal. I used to write my goals every single day. I wrote that over and over and over for years. And when it came true, when I finally and I had a lot of credit card debt. I'm not going to lie to you, it was bad. I was very overwhelmed. When I paid off my credit card, I was like, oh my God, I did it. It was like so nice to see something come true, like to know that that I thought it, I wrote it, and then I was able to manifest it. So I just made a comment that I still write that down. I still write down that I have a 0 credit card balance. And I do that because I never want to get in credit card debt again. I never again want to put myself in a situation where I'm mindlessly spending and I'm racking up bills. And you know this. It's happened to me recently. I don't have credit cards. I don't use them. My friends yell at me like, you need the points. The points got me in trouble. So I'm not interested in points anymore, anything of that sort. But a few months ago, maybe even a year ago, I took out a very small credit card from my credit union for $500 just to have on the side. you know this, I charged it in a day. And one day I was like, this is just out of control. Like I can't even use this little credit card. So I'm very, very careful about what I spend. And you know, that's a big thing for me. I want to share that with you because like dieting, you know, somebody who diets and the minute they get to their goal weight, they eat like they used to and they gain the weight back. It's the same thing here. I really believe one of the reasons why I didn't have financial success the way I do now years ago is if I made a lot of money years ago, I would have spent it the same day. At least now I know that I don't do that anymore. Now I'm in control of my money. I'm going to share that with you right now. So I don't know about you. One of the ways I got myself in trouble, and this office is a great example. I wanted to rent this space a couple of years ago. And my friends were all like, you deserve it. You've been writing books for years. You try so hard. You deserve it. But I had even learned a couple of years ago, it's not about what I deserve or what I'm entitled to. The question you have to ask yourself is, can I afford it? Do I need this right now? And is this realistic? Those are three of the best questions I can give you. Can I afford this? Do I really need this right now? And is it realistic? And the bottom line was, if I had rented this 2 years ago, I would have been stressed out to the max. I couldn't afford it. Every month I'd have been like, how am I going to pay it? How am I going to pay it? I would have been calling the manager saying, can I put it on hold? I would have been doing all kinds of crazy things. I waited and now I'm very comfortable with this. I don't feel like I have to be here every day. Like I know I can afford it. I did the right thing. And there was a space that I really wanted. It's beautiful. And I'm really happy that I did it the right way. So when you change your narrative from I deserve it, I'm entitled to, which you do deserve it. Anything you want, you deserve. And the law of attraction teaches us, if you really want something and you can picture it, you're going to have it. You're going to have it. It's just getting from your lofty goal, getting through the debt and the savings cycle to the other side in the right way. So saying you're entitled has gotten me in so much trouble. A few years ago, a friend of mine, we went furniture shopping and we bought a whole set of furniture for my office at home because I deserved it. It took me years to pay that off. And it was like, it wasn't worth the stress and the aggravation. I could have waited for that. So when you think about these words and your new narrative, you're not a victim. You're not feeling sorry for yourself. You're being constructive. You're being positive. You're being responsible. You're being respectful. You're being mindful of your money. So being respectful and mindful of your money is what's going to get you out of debt. So in the big picture of life, we're all going to get to where we want to be if we do it the right way. If you have to make some sacrifices, if you have to say to yourself, I can't afford this right now, it's not a negative thing. It's about being respectful. It's about being mindful. And if there's no judgment, like don't judge yourself. Don't be like, oh, I'm a loser. I can't afford it. No, it's not. It's about being kind, loving, and respectful toward yourself and just using money the right way so that it gets you where you want to go. So that was a big turning point for me and for a lot of people that don't get this can't get out of debt, because when you're feeling like, if you think asking yourself the question, can I afford it, is a negative thing, like that's not the law of attraction, and you keep spending, you're perpetuating a negative cycle. But if you can look at asking yourself, can I afford this, as responsible, respectful, and mindful, it really shifts you and it puts you in control of your money. Who doesn't want that? You can be in control of your money when you ask yourself those questions and make better decisions around what you purchase. Right? And you're doing it with love and kindness. Again, law of attraction is about being positive. And guys, I had a lot of debt. I did this. I was very loving and kind and gentle with myself, forgiving myself for what I did, but moving forward and realizing that by taking control of my money and asking these types of questions, I was making better financial decisions, which got me out of debt. So again, know the money is coming. It's coming. So don't feel like I'm a loser. I'll never get what I want. It's coming. But you may have to make some sacrifices right now. You may have to make some different decisions about how you spend your money to get to where you want to be. Right? The sooner you clean up your debt, the sooner riches will pour into your life. Now, again, years ago, I was living to the pennies. At the end of the month, I was like, I can't even afford dinner. I can't even afford to buy dinner. I'd lived like that for years, like not having any money. Now, and I'm not kidding, and I'm not saying this, I'm not bragging. It's just, I'm making the same money, right? I have thousands of dollars in my account because I'm not doing stupid spending. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. I went from not knowing how to pay my bills at the end of the month or how to feed my kid to, all right, I have all this money. What am I going to do with it? Where am I investing my money? Big shift. And I'm going to show you how I did it. So how did I do this? You ready? I was eating out every single day. At work, I was spending at least $15 a day on lunch and coffee. On weekends, my husband and I would go to this nice deli that we love, and we were buying sandwiches. We were spending $40 on sandwiches and sodas and chips. We were doing all of this. We were having fun, but we were wondering, like, why isn't there money in the account? I remember thinking, are we not making enough money? How do we figure out a way to make more money? But in the meantime, I had plenty of money. I just had to change my mindset. So, you ready? Just by not eating out every single day, that's $20 a day minimum that I was spending. That's $140 a week. That's $560 a month that I had in my pocket to pay a bill. So we would buy groceries at home. I know. We would buy groceries at home. We were careful. Sometimes I ate peanut butter and jelly. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I didn't give a shit. I wanted to get out of debt. I would buy apples. I would bring the water from home. I didn't buy anything out. And remember, big picture. I do that now. Now I'll go out. For a while, I just stopped. Having $560 meant I was paying off major credit cards. Like I just told you, I had almost $100,000 in credit card debt. I paid it off in 2 years because I was doing this. So $560 extra was going to credit card debt. And then I said, well, if I'm curbing my food and I'm saving $560 a month, where else can I curb that wouldn't hurt me? So I was really, and you guys, those of you that know me well, you know I'm whiny. You know how I am. I'm not one to sacrifice. I'm not a big one on, some people buckle down. I know me. If I buckle down, I'll be the crankiest person on the planet. So I buckled down, but my goal was, I'm not going to be a victim. Where can I cut back? It's not going to hurt me. Where I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to take it out on people. I'm not going to feel like a victim. I didn't want that energy. Where else can I cut back that maybe I don't realize I'm spending money? So the next place I spent money, I call it bleeding money, is clothes. I was in the stores all the time buying clothes. I stopped completely. I hated this part of my life. I love shopping for clothes, but I played a game with myself every morning. I hated this game, but I did it. How can I be creative with my clothes today? How can I be creative with my outfits today? I really just forced myself to be creative, and I stopped shopping. I was obsessed with buying boots and pocketbooks. Stopped it. Killed me. I wanted new boots every month, whatever I was buying. I wasn't thinking before. I was mindless. I was shopping. I stopped all that. Before I knew it, all my credit card debt was gone from my Macy's in America, the department stores, Macy's, Lord & Taylor, all the department store credit cards, gone. All of them were gone instantly. I saved hundreds of dollars a month by not buying clothes. Again, the money was going to the credit card debt. Unbelievable. And the more I was paying off, the more excited I was. I was like, I had all this money all along and I didn't know it. I thought I was broke. I thought I was poor. I thought I needed to make more money. I had the money right in front of me. I had to just use my money better. So that's what I did. And more bills got paid off and more bills got paid off. And the best part about it, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself and I wasn't a victim. I had to make sure I didn't go into that mode. So I kept paying off bills and paying off bills. And I asked myself again, what else can I do? Don't laugh at me. I stopped going to the pharmacy. In America, the pharmacy, CVS, Rite Aid, the drugstores, you walk in, you're wandering around. Oh, look at that fancy shampoo. Oh, look at that fancy soap. Oh, I need a candle. I was spending a fortune in the store called CVS. Stopped shopping in CVS. Yeah, right, Allison? I stopped going to CVS. Stopped Melinda's shaking her head. Stay out of the department store. I mean, the pharmacy. I stopped going to Target. In America, there's a store called Target that's really cheap. So you go in with your grocery cart and you're throwing clothes in, you're throwing socks in because they're cheap, but you never walk out of the store without spending $200. And it was junk. It wasn't even things that I needed. I stayed out of Target. I don't go to I love Marshalls and TJ Maxx, 2 stores in America that are I'm obsessed with these stores because they're cheap designer clothes. I'm probably wearing it from Marshall's right now. Again, going in the store, throwing things in the cart, it's cheap. Why not? It's $7. I'm buying $200 of $7 tops that I don't need. Then I would go check out and they had aisles of stuff and throwing that stuff in the cart. I stopped all of this. I don't go into any stores anymore. Done. On weekends, if I'm bored, I go for a walk. I'll hop on a bicycle. I'll go for a hike. I'll read a book. I'll clean. No, I really don't do that. I'll do something other than going into any of these stores that trigger mindless spending. Because you think I'm looking at my notes, 5 pages of notes. You think you're saving money, but you're not. You're spending money on things that you don't need, right? So I only go into these stores now. Now, I told you I paid my credit card debt. I still don't go into these stores. I'm never going back to that Georgette again. She doesn't exist anymore. So I only go in these stores at designated times. I went in the spring. I bought myself a couple of pairs of shoes and some outfits for work. I have enough clothes for the summer. I will not step foot into any of these stores all summer. And then in September, I will go back and get some clothes for the fall for work. That's it. Done. No more shopping like that. Right? So this was supposed to be temporary, right? Temporary. In the big picture of life, I was cleaning up my debt. But guess what happened? I realized that this is a way of life now. That if I want more money, I can never go back to that. I do eat out. I eat out. My husband and I go out to eat. I do buy lunch once in a while at work. I went into CVS the other day to buy something. I forgot what it was. I'm not saying that I'm as strict as I was for a couple of years to get out of debt. And guys, it really took me like 2 years. That's how much money I had, but I was spending it and I thought I was broke. I had the money. So you may have the money and you don't even realize it because you're spending it mindlessly. Now it's my way of life. I have so much confidence that I'm going to attain my goals. So one of my financial goals right now is to I want to buy another investment property. I want a 2-family house. And one of the things that I write in my journal is everything I purchase in cash. So I may not get this immediately, but I'm working towards it. I want to buy this 2-family house. I don't want a mortgage. I don't want another mortgage. I'm able to pay for it in cash. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. But I know I'm on my way because I know that when I get paid and my husband gets paid, there's thousands of dollars in the account, which we always had, but we were spending it on food and CVS and crap. And now we can manage it. We can manage our money in a way that's constructive and positive. So it's a new way of life for me. I'm confident that I have money and I can get what I want. But it's really hard sometimes because my friends who know that I've been doing this, they've aware of my struggle. When they ask me to do something like go on vacation, my friends want to go to Florida this summer. And I'm not going to go. And it's not that I can't afford it. It's just not what I want to do right now. I've got other goals. I'm going to go to Florida with them eventually. We're going to do it again. I'm just not doing it now. And sometimes they'll ask me to purchase something like buy a gym membership or whatever. I'm not doing that right now. I may never buy a gym membership again because I've spent so much money on gym memberships that I've never gone to. I don't know about that. But I'm not going to do things mindlessly. And sometimes my friends put pressure on me to do things. And but I've learned to be so happy with what I'm doing that I don't need anyone's approval. I don't need anyone to tell me, no one to make me feel guilty that I'm not going out to dinner or whatever. Georgette now makes better decisions about finances based on what she needs and what her family needs. I don't care about anything else. So now that I'm on this path, I am careful. I'm careful and I make choices. I don't say I can't afford it anymore, but I'm making choices. So I'm not going to be bullied into purchasing anything ever again. And the other thing I want to share with you is, I'm married. My husband is on board with this. We weren't always on the same page financially. We would kill each other. Talking about money is the hardest thing to do as a couple. It brings up so much bad energy and so much like tension, but we did it. We worked through it and we are on the same page about spending. So if I say to him, let's go out to dinner, he's like, no, I'll make dinner tonight. And then when he says, let's go out to dinner, I'm like, no, I'll make dinner tonight. We're working together to help each other make better decisions. And that, if you don't have that, it's very hard, because if one's spending and one's saving, it doesn't work. So learn how to have difficult conversations about money in a respectful way, in a way that you're just talking facts. Like, look, I'm trying to save here. I'm trying to work on our future. I want to pay down our mortgage, or I want to buy this. Or learn how to talk and know that you're going to fight initially, and you're not going to agree. But eventually, if you are respectful and loving toward each other, you can have this conversation and you can agree on this way of life. I think it's really important to do that. And I think a lot of couples that call me, that's one of the biggest problems. One's a spender and doesn't have any clue, that entitlement thing. I'm entitled to a new car. I'm entitled to a vacation. Of course you are. But if you're going to put it on a credit card, don't do it. You know, just trying to help people make those better decisions, right? The other thing I want to share with you is that people get mad at me. I know a lot of you know my story. I work full time. I have a tutoring business. I work at a university. I teach writing classes, and I do this. And I'm on Mindset University all the time helping that. So I'm very busy. So sometimes people get mad at me. They're like, you're doing too much. And again, I have a lofty goal. I'm trying to reach it. I'm going to take every opportunity that comes my way. And it's a big issue when I'm coaching people. They get very mad about this. They're like, well, you're doing too much. I'm never doing too much. If an opportunity shows up, I'm going to say yes. I'm a yes to an opportunity for a number of reasons. A, I'm making money. B, I don't know where it's going to lead me. Maybe somebody in one of these opportunities will think my videos are great, make one go viral, help me sell my books. I'm always going to be present to any opportunity that shows up. So somebody could be mad at me again, but I'm not going to be bullied into doing something that isn't serving me. I'm always going to do what serves me. And there are times in my life when I'm very, very busy. This past spring, I was really all in. Like, I was working the 2 classes at William Patterson University, you know, helping kids with their college stuff. I was exhausted. Like, right now, I'm not doing that. So it goes in cycles, but I always take every opportunity. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Take every opportunity. So I'm taking opportunities. These opportunities obviously paid off my debt at one time. Now they're working toward my savings. It's all about your priorities and about you having priorities and having those boundaries where you take care of you first, or your family first, and then everybody else comes next. You know, that it's like not being bullied into doing things because other people are used to you spending money or doing whatever. You know, you taking care of your financial self first before anybody else. And remember, no one's paying your bills but you. So don't be bullied into doing things for other people. So I'm not going to work like this forever. Again, in the big picture, I'm going to grab all these opportunities. It's a big picture because they may not come back. They may come back. They may not come back. I don't know. I work where I can. I'm tired sometimes, but it's my choice to make my financial life my priority. So I hope that helps you. I coach people who tell me things like, I wouldn't do that because it's not inspiring. Again, in the big picture, being realistic, you're not always going to be inspired. Everything isn't inspiring. That's a myth. That's a Hollywood myth that everything's inspiring. Sometimes you got to do grunt work. Sometimes it's drudgery and it's boring, but it's going to get you somewhere. And that's what you care about. That whatever you're doing is going to get you to point B. And it may not be fun at the moment, but in the big picture of life, it may be an opportunity. It may lead to something else. Maybe it won't, but you don't know unless you do it. So if you can't wait around for inspiration, like that's another myth. And, you know, I know where people get these myths because I watch these influencers on YouTube talk about, you know, you don't have to do this, you know, you can be inspired or take a leap of faith. Be very careful who you listen to, because I'm convinced that most people who can wait around for inspiration have a trust fund, you know, or maybe they have somebody very wealthy supporting them. If you don't have that, that's not an option for you. You know, wealthy people have that option to just wait around or go to the Eiffel Tower for inspiration. But if you're living in your day-to-day life looking to meet some goals and you're an average person, you may have to do things that aren't always inspirational. So can you guys hear me? Because there's a band outside. Okay. if you're going to start a business, like I have, this is my side hustle, right? Start everything as a side hustle. You have to keep your day job. I know a lot of people, and again, I've seen these influencers, just trust and leap. It doesn't work like that. Unless you're very wealthy, you're taking a big risk of losing your home, going in debt, not being able to put the lights on. A few years ago, before the pandemic, I went to a convention, a public speaking convention, and there were a lot of people there my age who quit their job. You can make $20,000 in engagement, public speaking, and I'm going to do that, and I'm here to learn. And I remember sitting there thinking, wow, like you quit your job, like you're an adult, you've got a family, you quit and then the pandemic hit, and I think about these people all the time. There are no public speaking engagements right now. So if you put all your eggs in the public speaking basket, you're screwed. Like those people don't have an income. And that's where you get into debt. And how do I know this? Because my husband started a business years ago. I was working full time. He was relying on his business. Guess what? The hurricane hit, the economy tanked, his business tanked. We were screwed. We had to borrow money to cover the business, that's what got us in debt all those years ago. I'll never do that again. I will never put myself in a situation again where I'm that precariously close to losing things. If I were to start this business, let's say what I'm doing right now with you, if I wanted to be a full-time business, I would need to have 3 years of salary in the bank to know that I can take the time to build this and not do any damage to myself financially. So, I have a different mindset today than I did back then. So be careful when you're listening to influencers and take a leap of faith. And one woman on one of the shows, she's a very famous author. She said she borrowed $85,000 to go work with a life coach. And I'm thinking, why are you telling people that? Like, why would you encourage someone to borrow $85,000? And then later on in the video, she says she borrowed the money from her father, but she didn't say it earlier. So somebody who's trying to build a business or trying to do something or that thinks, okay, I can go borrow $85,000. That's not responsible. So, law of attraction, having a lofty goals, find a way to get there that works and doesn't devastate you or your family financially. There's a way to do it. So if you're looking to start a side hustle, start a business, what skills do you have? Like, I've been very lucky that I have a degree in English, that I'm a writer. I've always been a writer. I've been able to use my writing skills to tutor college. I work at the college essays, and I have a lot of side hustles from my job. And then of course it's building this motivational business because I write books. So that worked for me. What are your skills? What skills do you have that you can use as your expertise, as a foundation for what you want to do? And if you have a skill or if you have a strength and you haven't developed it, can you start developing it now? What can you do right now to build your expertise in that area? So today, I have all these side hustles. Years ago, I had to really hard to get these side hustles to where they are. I had to work really hard to get my coaching skills, to get my tutoring skills, to be where people trusted me to tutor the kids and to be an expert tutor. People call me now, don't even ask me about my credentials because they know I've been doing it a long time. So it might take some time, but what skills do you have that you can use as a consultant, that you can, share out somehow? I don't know. Like, take a minute to think about it. What are you good at? Or what can you develop to, to make money? I know somebody in my town who's made a fortune dog walking. She's a dog walking business. And before she knew it, she has like 10 people working for her. Dog walking business. I know people who have successful babysitting businesses. My girlfriend just told me someone just offered her $30 an hour to be a nanny. She's going to take the job. That's like a no-brainer. So you may not think about these things as businesses, but they are. Babysitting is a business. Dog walking is a business. What else can you do that can help you create a side hustle, or to create more money to pay off debt, or to build a business? What could you do? Does that help? Nod your heads if that helps. Okay, you want to do a little visualization? Okay, so I don't know about you, but years and years ago, when I was trying to get clear about my financial goals, like, and I asked myself the question, what do I want? I couldn't answer it because I'd never thought about myself and what I really want. So I had to do a lot of journaling. I spent a lot of time really thinking and revising my goals to really meet who I was and what my needs are. So I just want to walk you through a quick little visualization. Okay. So close your eyes and relax for a minute. Let all your thoughts, your pressures, and your problems slip away. Clear your mind until the only thing you see in your mind is clouds drifting by. Just see white clouds drifting by in a blue sky. Now start to visualize what you want. What do you want? What do you look like? What are you wearing? Who's with you? Where are you? Where are you living? What does your home look like? Where is it? Who's living in that home with you? Does this home bring you joy and contentment and a feeling of accomplishment? Do you feel the satisfaction of taking care of your family? What other things do you see for yourself? Do you love to ski and you have purchased a ski home near your favorite resort? Do you love the ocean? Do you have a beach house and perhaps a boat? Take a few minutes to picture where you are, who you're with, what you're doing. Are you alone? Are you enjoying someone else's company? Where do you work? What do you do for a living? When you look out your window, what do you see? Are you in a skyscraper? Are you looking out in your backyard? Are you in an office? Who is there with you? Are you enjoying your accomplishments? Are you a role model for others? Do others look at you and think, wow, I want his or her life? Are you enjoying the respect and responsibility? Are you enjoying your life? And what does it look like? I'm going to be quiet for a minute when I ask you this question. What does it look like to enjoy your life? Just try to picture it in your mind for a minute. What does it look like to enjoy your life? Don't think about society and what society expects from you. Be really honest with yourself. Who are you and how do you enjoy your life? What would make you happy? Get honest with yourself for a minute. Another minute to get really clear and honest with yourself. What do you want? What makes you happy? Come back. Okay. Start to think about that a lot. What do you want? What would make you happy? And I would write it. I write this stuff, like I said, I'm not doing it right now, but I did it for years and I'll go back to it. But take a journal and in the morning, especially if you have a couple of minutes alone, like just write down exactly what you want. And don't be afraid if it changes the next day or the next day or from year to year. It's totally okay if our goals change. My goals are always changing, but it's just good to know where to start. Like, where do you, even if it's not 100% clear to you, write something down, and then you can tweak it. You can keep changing it, So did everybody get a nice clear vision of what they wanted? You got a nice clear vision? Okay, good. Good. So now the next part of this is, how hard are you willing to work to achieve these goals? All right? What skills do you bring? What expertise? Are you willing to create a long-term plan? Are you willing to, what are you willing to do now? And what are you willing to do for a long-term plan? It's a great thing to write out and to know, especially if you have debt, or if you don't have a savings, or, you don't necessarily know what you want. Like I just told you, I know I want a 2-family house that I want to use as an investment property. I know exactly what I have to do to get there. So once you know, then you know how to get there. All right. So the other part of this is also, you're manifesting a dream life. What are you willing to do? And if you're not born with a trust fund or a very wealthy person in your life, right? What are you willing to do? How much time are you willing to put into it? What are you willing to sacrifice? And I say this because a lot of times we feel bad for ourselves. And years ago, I tutored. I live in a very wealthy, the area around me, actually the town that I'm in right now is one of the wealthiest communities in America. It's very wealthy here, like mansions everywhere. Not where I live, the next town over. And I've tutored a lot of these kids, right? I tutor for the SAT, which is the college entrance exam in America. So I've been in these mansions. I'm in them all the time. And the parents are never home. So I have a particular story that there's a woman who's unbelievably successful. They have a yacht, they have a home in the Hamptons, but she's never home. Like, she has 3 children and the nanny has raised them. And that's okay. That's what she was willing to do to get her success. I wasn't willing to do that. Like, I have 1 child, I wanted to raise him. I've been home, I've been present. So my business is very much a side business. It's not my focus. I haven't sacrificed time. I haven't. I'll be very honest. Because if I had, I'd be farther ahead. But thinking about that in that way, I don't feel sorry for myself and I don't feel like a victim. I've made choices that worked for me and my priorities and my ethics or whatever. And she did things differently, and that's okay. Everyone has to really think about, what are you willing to do to get where you want to be? So if you're willing to put it, all energy in, all in, work 24 hours a day, I'm making that up, you're going to get farther. If you're not, that's okay, but you have to accept that maybe you won't get there as quickly as you want to. It's just a matter of how much energy and time are you going to put into whatever it is that you need to do. I think that's a really important thing to think about. And know, and then, and again, in your journal, when you're writing, be very clear about that. Like, how many hours am I willing to work on my side hustle? What am I willing to do? Like, for me, it's really my weekends, right? Because I work full-time during the week. It's the weekends that I have. What am I willing to give up on weekends to work on this, to get where I want to be? So again, law of attraction, a lot of people, the trip up with the law of attraction for people is that, oh, this is so great. It's so wonderful. I'm going to dream and believe it's going to come. There's a lot. The law of attraction also expects us to take action. And that's what people trip up. To take action, to have goals, be persistent and patient with them, and never give up. Because when you see it, you can have it, but you're going to have to work toward it somehow. Somehow you have to put work into it to get where you want to go. Right? So for me, I journal and I'll ask myself, what do I need to do next? What do I need to learn here? How do I move this forward? I ask myself a lot when I'm walking, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do next? I try to get divine guidance to what I need to do, in my business or in my life, anything. Where do I need to go next? So I'm always everything I write down isn't permanent because I'm always going to revise it, change it, tweak it, move it as my life grows, as my life changes. I change things, and I'm okay with that. I don't feel, in the beginning, I was afraid to write something because I thought it's going to be permanent. I have to do it. No, you can change it anytime that you want to. All right. But I think the most important part is that you need to be honest with yourself. So in wrapping this up, and I'll take questions if you guys have any, but if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And I believe that. I'm living proof of that. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. People look at overnight sensations, but they don't see the year of work. I don't know, some famous actor said that. People think I'm an overnight sensation. They don't know how many years I've worked to get to this place. And I think a lot of times we need to see that too, like that there's a little bit of drudgery, there's work, there's a lot going on behind the scenes before we can get to where we want to go. And that if we're willing, if we're honest, if we're realistic and practical and mindful and respectful of money, we can get to where we want to go. And we just have to make some goals, stop all the mindless spending, and really be very clear and focused on what we're looking to attract into our lives. Does anybody have any questions for me? You can put them in the chat if you want, or you can unmute yourself. I don't know. Faisal, can you let people unmute themselves? Is it possible? Does anybody want to ask a question? Heike, you want to ask a question?
No, but I can resonate with what you said, because I did that. I wanted an extension on the house, but my credit rating was really, really bad, and I was up to my eyeballs in debt. So I spent 2.5 years doing what you did and getting rid, and I've got my extension now. And then I've just started saving every month, and then I've just had my kitchen, but that's on 0% interest, so I can pay that off over the next couple of years.
That's so beautiful. And you know, Jackie, somebody could look at that stunning kitchen and think, wow, Jackie's so rich, and maybe you are, but they don't know the work put into getting where you are.
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing, because again, sometimes you see somebody, you go, well, how did they do it? But the truth is you worked at it. You had to work 0%. Yeah. I love that story.
Yeah, my cousin called me lucky, and I'm like, I'm not lucky. I worked my bits off. I've always had 2 jobs all my working life. I've always had 2 jobs. So I work hard, so I deserve it. And I wanted it, so I got it.
And you can change that narrative. You can afford it. You don't just deserve it. And also, you have both, deserving and affording. So that's perfect story. Perfect. Anyone else want to share a story or ask a question? Linda, do you have a...
I just really resonated with what you were saying about like getting out of debt, because I've been working on that as well.
Good.
And I realized that I'm still spending in some places that I don't need to be, like when you were pointing them out. And so I think that process will go much faster now.
Yes. Melinda, it blew my mind how quickly, and we didn't get like a major pay raise. It wasn't like I stepped into money.
Right.
I had I couldn't believe it. I paid off almost $100,000 in 2 years. That's crazy. Without
crazy.
So good for you, Melinda. Yeah, and also, you know, I mentioned Target, I mentioned Costco. I'm sure there are other places where you do it. So yeah, just clean it up. You know, be mindful.
Yep.
Very nice. Excellent. Do you have anything to say, Allison? Did you get unmute?
I did, but yeah, I need to stop playing the credit card shell game. I need to, even though everything's at 0%, you know, I change my credit cards every time I get a 0% offer. I flip them because I don't want any interest.
Yeah. So
in the past 9 years, I think I've paid less than $100 in interest on all my credit cards, but it's a job in and of itself, knowing when each credit card expires for their 0% and then flipping it onto another credit card and paying the transfer fees and all that stuff. It works, but
yeah, well,
there's going to come a time when I actually have to, like, I want the 0 balances. Yeah. I want the 0 balances. Yes.
And Allison, I don't want to scare you, but I used to do that. And then one day I got screwed because my credit went in the toilet and they wouldn't give me the 0%. And all those 0% went to 29.99. And I had to pay them off at 29.99. And I had no choice because I had no credit left. I was screwed. And that hurt. That hurt.
Right. I think that because I have an investment account, which is always equal to my debt, which is a weird thing, it would zero it out. That
Well,
I
okay.
have.
That's one of the things I'm going to talk about next week. We need to stop doing that too. We need to start seeing our savings grow instead of, like I'm going to do a visualization next week about really just picturing the money growing and seeing a savings growing and not this hustle thing, so, that's.
I'm constantly struggling in my own head. Do I just pull out all my investment money and pay off all my credit cards and start from square one, start at zero? But I don't want to not have that cushion in my investments,
If I could say one thing to you, I would do that, but only after you're so close to making your real estate business extremely successful. I would put effort into that, get to a point where you're making a lot of money with that. So you've got that comfort level, then maybe take your investment money and go down to zero. I've done that. I've taken money, and paid it off. And it was the best thing I ever did. So, but make sure you're making money. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to take that money out unless and I know your real estate, you really make a lot of money. You're good. You're good at it. So maybe just think about that.
I just need clients, a lot of them.
Well, you got to, like we said the other day, you got to network. It's like me with that woman who lives in the mansion this woman lives in a mansion overlooking New York City and New Jersey. I mean, she's uber rich, but she's never home. Not that I'm saying, but do we work that hard? I'm not saying you have to work that hard. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe you could put more effort. I don't know, it's up to you. Like you have to think about, do you need to put more effort into your real estate networking? I don't know. Whatever you want. Just think about what you could do, to help yourself. That's all. Like, I don't know what you would want. I can't speak for you, but you do seem to have opportunities from what you've said to make money. So maybe we can manifest that person calling and getting you investors.
Well, I did yesterday. I had a meltdown and within 5 minutes I had a phone call that I sold a house. So
awesome.
Yay.
So it just fell in my lap, which is usually what happens, which is funny because my boss says to me, she goes, I don't know how these deals just fall in your lap, but you don't seem to have to like struggle like most people. I don't know.
That's good.
But I've also been working with this person since last August. So it's not like it hasn't been.
It's like, it's that instant, that overnight sensation. Well, no one knows the work you did beforehand.
Exactly.
That's all. Yeah. So, just think about it. Think about what you could do to manifest more money, whether work-wise, and then, maybe use your investment money to pay off your debt.
Right.
Anyone else have any questions? Carissa, did you and Azra? Hi, Azra.
Right. I just hello.
Hello.
You know about Georgette? Like I was, even Dave was listening to you while I was cooking dinner, and he was listening to you as well, and he was just nodding with his head like this and doing this. What that woman says, she's on point, and I was like, I know she is. I'll put you to loud because like I haven't got any debt. Obviously, I don't own a home, I don't have a car, I don't have anything. She's like, I've got a job, like it's not usually pay, whatever. I've got a little overdraft for that. But what I can't do, I'm really bad with budgeting. Pisses me off. I struggle. I'm trying really, but it's not working for some reason.
Well, do what I did. Just open it up and think about it. Azra, what started this for me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me? What really started this journey for me is, I'm going to try to move in so you guys can hear me, is the guy, I have a wonderful guy who collects the garbage. He's wonderful. And one day he came to my house when my son was little, and he said, I have a swing set at my country home. Do you want it for your son? And I'm thinking in my head, he probably makes a third of what I do, of what I make.
Yeah.
And this man has a country home. And it made me realize when people are smart with their money. People are really good with their money. And that he's got a country home and I'm in debt, Turkey, you know? So I learned a lot from that experience, that people are just careful, responsible, and we can be too, you know? So think about that, Azra, and really think about what you can do to budget better.
Yeah.
No, so just and don't be angry. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just go, all right, what can I do here? Where can I cut back a little bit? Carissa, did you want to say something?
Yeah, you're
Oh
right.
my goodness.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Georgette, I just wanted to reiterate, like, it's a lot of things you said, spot on. I can totally relate to. One thing that really resonated with me is not the do you deserve it? Because as you said, you deserve everything. Is this really the best choice to get me to my goal, right? Like, it's being able to go, well, of course you deserve it. Take a step back. Is this going to get you to your goal? Is the goal important, or is this more important? Yeah, just the wording in that kind of flipped a light bulb for me. And I was like, that's how I can rephrase it. Because I can get caught up in that too, being like, of course I deserve it. It's just a coffee. I can like, of course I can deserve it. It's just, $3 here or whatever. And before you know it. Yeah.
I was working with a young girl like your age a few years ago, and she wanted me to meet her at Starbucks to coach. And I went to Starbucks, and she was complaining because she was living at home. She had no money. She bought whatever she bought. It was $8. I'm like, are you kidding? You're spending $8 on coffee and you wonder why you're living at home? And she just looked and she hadn't thought about it. But these things add up, like all these little things that we do, you don't realize that they really, $8. Like I said, when I realized I was spending $15 on lunch every day, I was like, what? Like, what am I doing? So
the other thing I found interesting too is, as you said, the points. They're sneaky because you're like, well, that's just a couple dollars, and then I can have points, and then I can get something for free later.
Over it. No, yeah. The same thing with what, I don't know if you understood what I was saying to Allison. I used to transfer balances, 0, and I got nailed one day. One day I called up to transfer, and they were like, sorry, your credit's in the toilet. You can't have this 0%. And my credit card shot up to 29.99. I was paying 30% interest, and I had no choice. And I had to pay those damn things at 30% interest. But you know what? That hurt so much, I'll never go back there. So it was a good lesson for me. Like, I'm never playing this game. I'm not playing this credit card game anymore. No, done. Honestly, I haven't used a credit card in years. Isn't that funny? I haven't used a credit card in at least 3 years, maybe 5.
Do you miss it?
No.
So, Georgette, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
If you were that far in debt at 30, why didn't you go bankrupt?
I would never do that. I needed to take responsibility for what me and my husband created. And I don't believe in bankruptcy. I was like, no, we're going to suck it up. We're going to do this. And it was the best thing we ever did. Because guess what? If I had filed bankruptcy, we'd be in debt again. It hurts to pay it off. It hurts. It hurt both of us. We had to struggle through it. And now we know, and now we're in a great place. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't do it.
I just want to say, Georgette, I really did resonate with everything that you've said, and it's kind of made me think that the money that I'm putting aside each week, so my kind of logic in regards to saving and budgeting is that I'm actually now starting to put money aside each week, money that I would probably spend on things that I don't really need. So I'm putting that into a savings account each week, and it's building up. So whenever it's built up, that's there for me to kind of use on whatever I want to use. I've even kind of titled the account Luxuries. So when I'm able to treat myself, so once I reach a certain goal or once I reach in a certain kind of hit a goal in a certain area that I'm working towards, I can then dip into my luxuries account and I'll be able to gift myself something. I, like you, was in a huge amount of debt. And the only way that I kind of paid that off is kind of just thinking, no, I don't want this kind of life. I want to kind of create a life where I'm debt free. And like you, I just kind of felt like I didn't want to go down the bankruptcy road because I want a house in the future. I want my own life in the future. And if I did go down that road, it would kind of jeopardize that. So I needed to kind of work a way in which I could kind of increase my credit rating and pay off the debt, but also start a way of saving. And the only way that I did that was kind of just look for another job that paid me more, but that allowed me the flexibility to save. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. That really made me think that what I have planned in relation to my finances is the best way forward for me. So thank you so much for that.
I'm going to make 2 more comments. One comment is your luxury savings. I'm going to title it my home savings. I know you want to buy a home. Once you buy your home, then you can have a luxury savings. Don't spend money on things that are insignificant, like a car, vacation, before you buy your home. And again, it's a short-term sacrifice, but once you have that home, you have it forever. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to keep putting it off. That's what I was saying before about and I want to do this next week in the meditation. Savings is so important and we don't realize it. Like, not saving to go, okay, I've got 10,000, I can buy a car. No, like really saving, like making it 100,000, making it 200,000 or something really significant where you can either put it toward your retirement, toward a home. For me, a second home, like, you know, like I feel like when I get my second, this property that I want, then I can start thinking about my vacation in Hawaii. Why would I go to Hawaii before I have an income property that's producing money for me? You know what I mean? Like, so just, that's my only suggestion, is that you really think about this savings as not luxury as much as it needs to be substantial. Whatever you're going to do first, do the substantial thing first and then do the luxury thing.
Thank you. I will definitely change the name of that savings account. Yes, it does.
Everybody's, yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, just like, you know, like, I know, Jackie, I know you want to go to, you know, you want to go, what, Azra?
I said that was really good.
I didn't hear you, Azra. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I'm going to just say something to you. I hope I'm not a Debbie Downer. I know this was very realistic. It was very real. I've never felt better in my life about my finances. And that's all that matters, is that years ago, I'd be like, why me? I felt like this perpetual victim. Why is it never working for me? Why don't I ever have enough? And now I don't say that anymore. You know, I'm really in a great place, and I know I'm going to a better place financially. And that this workshop right now was the foundation of that. Was how I started. So I hope you all. Carissa, did you want to say something else? Oh, no, she said something. My friend Natalie's on. Natalie, you want to show us your pretty face? My friend Natalie and I work together.
I can't get my camera to work,
So,
but
yeah, so I hope
I'll
this helps.
say.
You know, and I love all you guys. You're all great. And if you have anything, you know, or genre. Okay. Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
Arjana wrote she spends too much money on makeup and clothes. Yeah, makeup. I love makeup. Yeah, it's a big. Hi, Natalie.
Me too, Georgette. I absolutely love makeup. That's a problem.
All right, guys. Have a
Me too.
No, I'm obsessed. It is. And I don't know about in Switzerland, but they have stores here that just only sell makeup. Oh,
Yeah, like
that's like,
Sephora
you know,
and so.
Christmas
It's like
Day to
it's
me,
my
you know, like
Candyland.
going into a store like that. So I don't go to those stores either. Yeah. Ulta, Sephora, you know, love them. Stay out of those stores. I'm sure you've got tons of makeup. I know I don't even wear it and I've got tons of makeup. So stay out of those stores for a while. Give yourself like a 6-month hiatus and see how much money you save.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you for coming
Thank you
and
so much,
listening, and I hope you
Georgette.
all.
Thank you,
I hope you all
Georgette.